This is Ray, and this is FDS Local Sports. Where's Andy? He couldn't be here tonight, but he'll be here in our week productions going forward. Football's back, baby. That's right. Football starts this weekend as the Maritime Football League kicks off another season. And what an exciting time to be a Maritime football fan, as they've just expanded their league from 4 teams to 6 teams for the upcoming season. Plus, they've got some TV stuff going on this year that we'll be talking about as well. Let me just tell you about their season. Week 1 kicks off this Saturday. There's 3 games. The first game goes at 1 o'clock. It's going to be between the Island Mariners and the Southern NB Ducks. That game can be, it's at the Usher Miller Field in St. John. That should be a great game. The Island Mariners are trying to build on their late season success of last year. Southern NB Ducks is a brand new team. Nobody knows what to expect from this team. It's going to be a good game to watch. At 4 o'clock in St. John, you have the Moncton Mustangs taking on the 2018 current champions of the MFL, the St. John Wanderers. This is a rematch of last year's championship, and this game again goes at 4 o'clock, and it's going to be at the UMB St. John Field. And this game you'll be able to find on Rogers Television on Channel 10, or look for it through their website. You can watch it through, you can stream it as well. That should be a great game to kick off the season. And look at these 2 teams. They know how to battle. If you saw the final game last year, it was a battle right to the end. What a great way to kick off the MFL season to have these 2 teams go at it. Also at 4 o'clock is a battle of the Nova Scotia teams. That's right. There's 2 teams in Nova Scotia this year. You have the Halifax Harbour Hawks. They're going to be on the road taking on the new team, the Nova Scotia Buccaneers. And that's being taken place at the Bedford All-Weather Field. That game again is at 4 o'clock. All 3 games should be great games. Really looking forward to watching some MFL again this year. And see how this league goes with these 2 new teams that we know very little about. But I want to tell you, we want to reach out to those teams. We want to be talking to you and getting updates from you throughout the season so we can promote your teams as well. As I mentioned, it's a very exciting time for Maritime Football League. Their league is expanding, and they've just got a deal put together with Rogers Television to cover 5 of their regular season games this year. So it's a great way to promote the league, and hopefully more media will come on board and help promote this league as well. But before we get out of here, I have 2 great interviews. Let me introduce you to Eric Sabin. He is the president of the MFL. Let's go to my quick conversation with Eric. With me now is the president of the Maritime Football League, Eric Sabin. How you doing, Eric?
Good, right?
Now, you're the president of the MFL. How long have you been running the league as the president?
I think this is my 10th year as the president of the league, and before that, I coached for 3 seasons with the old St. John Longhorns. But in a league capacity, I think this is I think 2010 was my first year.
Wow! So you've been around the league for quite some time.
Yeah.
2019 is an exciting year for the MFL. You got 2 new teams coming into the league. What can you tell me about those 2 teams, and how did it all come together?
Well, we have the Southern New Brunswick Ducks, which are in the St. John region here. They're going to be based out of the KV Hampton area.
Okay.
I think they're going to play their home games at the turf at KV High School. And then we have the Nova Scotia Buccaneers have rejoined the league after taking a year off to reorganize. So we're back up to 6 teams, which is a really comfortable number for us. We like to be at 6. Makes for a balanced schedule, makes us comfortable. Should there be, you never know, amateur football, there's finances, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So you're always just a little leery of, you might lose a team or something could happen. So 6 is good, but every year in the off season, or sometimes during the season, I get I get an email or a phone call from somebody asking about expansion, and I was telling Neil Hodge the other day from the Moncton paper that I genuinely try to scare everybody off that approaches us, because it's a lot of work, and it's even more work when we get people who have come in who are not at all ready, to be part of the team or to be part of the league. They're not prepared financially, organization-wise, players-wise, and it ends up being, a bad scene. So when somebody talks to me and asks me about expansion, I will do my very best to scare them away. And I tried that with Cliff Richards and Darcy Barker from the Southern New Brunswick group, and they're both veterans of the MFL. Darcy was former commissioner, president as well before me. Darcy and I are friends. He coached, played with the Longhorns, been around forever. Cliff played with the Wanderers, played high school here.
Wow.
So, they kind of knew what they were doing. And despite my best efforts, I didn't scare them off. And they raised the money and got players. And they've got this huge roster of guys and money in the bank. And so it went well.
Well,
and,
that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. The same with the Halifax guys. They put their work in. They got reorganized, and they're back.
Well, it's great to see the league expanding. I remember years ago when I started officiating football, the league had 8 teams, and to see it go down to 4, I was very surprised. But it's great to see the league growing again, and who knows, maybe one day we'll see Fredericton and a couple other teams join in. You never know.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we'd love to have guys back in Fredericton again, and there is interest there every year. There, I know there's a core group of guys that played with Gladiators there that would be interested in getting a team back. And there's other areas. There's Truro. I've had some interest from Truro as well. So it would be nice to have an even number. But yeah, we'd like to have Fredericton back too.
Well, that'd be great. Listen, another exciting thing going on with the MFL this year is I see that Rogers Television has committed to 5 games this year, with the home opener, the Moncton Mustangs playing at the St. John Wanderers this Saturday at 4:00. First of all, talk to me about how that all came together with Rogers TV.
Well, truthfully, I give full credit, I think, to the Moncton guys and their relationship with Rogers TV. They've had their games broadcast on Rogers Community Television the last 2 or 3 years, I think, and I know they had talked about it at our annual general meeting that there was going to be some other games, and it really was no involvement from me. I saw the announcement and I was ecstatic. I think it's great, and to be not just a few games, and like they've been pushing it on their Facebook page, and just to have that's great. That's great exposure for the league.
Great for the league and the players. The players love playing on television. You can always expect the intensity to be a little bit higher when there's TV cameras rolling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now week 1 kicks off this weekend, and how could you not kick off week 1 with the Mustangs playing against the Wanderers, especially with the way the season ended last year? How big of a game do you expect this game to be for week 1 of your season?
Every time those two teams play, it's like a championship game as far as intensity goes. The skill, as you know, both those teams across the league, but those teams have really, really high level of skill, and so anybody that's never seen our league or seen a game played from our league, it would be a very good one to start off with, and they're going to see the kind of skill, the kind of talent that we have, and it will be a great game. Well,
that's great and that really helps me with my last question, because I was going to ask you, for those people that don't know what Maritime Football League is, what can they expect to see when they come to see any one of those 6 teams across the league?
They can expect to be a little bit surprised. You've been officiating for a long time, Ray, and I almost want to turn around and ask you what you thought, but I have heard from some of your colleagues, and they have said, they are surprised at the caliber of play, the speed of play.
Yeah.
That our league has. 10 man makes the field a little wider, much more much more wide open offensively. But they're going to see high level football, because there is a lot. These guys are working out. Like, it's not to besmirch the guys who played back in the early days of the MFL, but it's you wouldn't see somebody like me playing in the MFL ever.
Right.
Like they would have to carry me off the field. But the guys are in top physical shape. They're training. Some of these guys are playing CIS, wanting to go to play, in Europe or CIS or wherever. So it's great football.
Well,
great football.
That's great. I'll tell you one thing as a football official, whenever your season's kicking off in week 1, it always reminds me just how out of shape I've gotten during the off season, because when your league starts, it's fast football right out of the gate, and you realize very quickly how you've got to get ready for the next week.
Yeah, if you get a second, Ray, I'll tell you a real quick story that kind of gives an example of what people think. So several years ago, the Wanderers hosted a team from Ottawa, I don't know if they were part of the Northern Football Conference or not, but anyway, they were a team from Ottawa, and it was coached by a former CFLer. His name suddenly escapes me, but they came and they played, and it was the Wanderers. They had a couple of guys from the Gladiators that joined them and played, and I was standing on the field. It's Ken Rare, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Ken Rare was coaching this team out of Ottawa, and I remember walking on the field to start the game, and he was talking to his coaching staff saying, I'm paraphrasing, but basically we're gonna let these guys get in the game. There's home crowd, whatever, and then we're gonna turn up the gears and get rid of them, blow them away, do whatever.
Right.
And I was standing at midfield, and the first offensive play of the game was John Haynes from the Wanderers taking a handoff and just gained a bruising 7 or 8 or 9 yards. And one of the defensive coaches was immediately to my right, and to quote him verbatim, he said, "Uh-oh." So I enjoy that, and I remember it, and I tell everybody that story because I won't forget that. Like, they knew what they were maybe going to get into.
He was a heck of a running back. Listen, before we get out of here, Eric, I just want to thank you. 2018 was a fun year for us. It was our first year really covering the Mustangs and the MFL, and we got the opportunity to announce the league awards on our Facebook page, which was amazing for us. We really enjoyed that. I appreciate you giving us that opportunity. And we really look at knocking 2019 out of the park, promoting your league, talking about the league, and connecting with all 6 teams, not just the Mustangs, as the year goes. So thanks again for your support, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you down the road.
Yeah, thank you very much for your support and coverage, and we will be chatting.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Ray.
That was great. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate your support for FDS local sports, and we look forward to talking to you further down the road. Next up, we've got to talk to head coach of our local team here in Moncton, Jason Terrace of your Moncton Mustangs. With me now is head coach Jason Terrace of your local Moncton Mustangs. Jason, 2018 is behind you guys now. New season. And wouldn't you expect anything else but to be kicking the season off against the St. John Wanderers in St. John this Saturday at 4 o'clock?
Yeah, we're really excited. Our rivalry goes back, almost decades now. I've been playing against St. John ever since 2001. And, even back since then, it's been a really heated and exciting rivalry, and there was times where St. John wasn't great. There were times where we weren't great, but right now, we're probably both at the top of our programs again, and it just makes the thing so much more exciting. With what happened last year at the championship, and going undefeated the whole year, and then losing out to St. John in the Maritime Bowl. The boys have been just eager to get back on the field, and we're really excited to play them again and work to redeem what we lost last year.
Well, it's going to be a great game. And what's kind of exciting this week, Jason, is I can't make that game. I've got dinner engagements that night I have to go to, but I can stream it on Rogers Television because Rogers Television is going to cover 5 games of the league this year. 4 of those games the Mustangs will be playing. Tell me about how excited your players will be, and will the intensity be up a level knowing they're on television?
It's very exciting. We continue to put a lot of work in developing our league and our teams, and to have the media, such as you, Ray, and Rogers come on board, and among other media outlets, it just gives us so much more excitement around that. And so the guys are, they just found out as it was released on social media.
Yeah.
And it just, we're ready to go. So I think the guys are going to be ready to put the pedal to the metal and get this going.
Awesome. Your first home game of the year is going to be what a great time for a game. Friday night, 8 o'clock, under the lights. You're going to be taking on a new St. John team, the Southern New Brunswick Ducks. What can you tell me about the expansion of the league? There's now 6 teams in the league. How exciting is that being part of the MFL? The league's expanding.
Like I said, we have put a ton of work into our league and teams, and when the league was at 10 teams, we had a tough time sometimes sustaining that growth.
Right.
And at this point in our league history, we're approaching it with a little bit more caution, and we're excited that the 2 new teams, Southern New Brunswick and the Buccaneers, who have had history in the league before too, they seem to be running the league and running their teams in a good, responsible way. And so we think that this growth is going to be more sustaining, and we're going to be able to present a better product long term. And we're excited for that, for sure.
That's great. That's great. Now, the Moncton Mustangs for 2019, you're going to be leading out your quarterback, Dan Comfort, of course. And I see on the roster, number 34, Aubrey Ellis. What other names do people have to pay attention to for the 2019 Mustangs as you guys roll out this weekend?
Yeah, we're really excited about Dan and Aubrey coming back. They have been cornerstones of our offense for a few years now. And, we're excited also for, a few other guys on offense, specifically Cam Morley.
Yeah.
He's a product at Acadia, came out of Moncton High. He's still at Acadia, returning this year, has fantastic opportunity at putting a lot of reps in at Acadia at tailback. And so, we're excited to see the ball in his hands this year. A really impact receiver that we've had over the last few years is Leslie Green. He's returning. He was an all-star last year.
Yeah.
Defensively, we're really excited for a few additions. Cam Bell, a linebacker product at Acadia. He came out of McNaughton. He's joined us this year, and Jerome Chimpangilla. He's a linebacker out of Holland College, and we're really excited to shore up our linebacker depth. Those 2 guys leading the way. Israel Alonga is a defensive back that came out of St. Mary's, and we've got Dave Cuthbertson, who is a member of the GTA All Stars, who won national championship with GTA in the past, and he played in the States as well. So we're really excited to see him come in, and those 2 guys will be impact players in the backfield, along with some of our returners. Bobby McIntyre has been a cornerstone for our D for a while.
Yeah.
And up front, Ben Dunstan, he's been a beast on the defensive line for us, and he was an all-star last year, and so we're looking forward to those guys on defense. They'll be exciting to watch.
Well, that's great. I'm really looking forward to this league kicking off, which is great. The other great thing for me this year, Jason, is in week 1 last year, if you remember, I had to officiate your game. So I'm glad I get to sit on the sidelines for the opening week this year and take in the football as a fan. I'm really looking forward to it. So before I let you go here, I just want to tell you, look, I want to thank you for all the support you've given us as our podcast, as we covered you guys last year, and we're looking to knock it out of the park for you in 2019, covering you as well as the rest of the league. Tell people what they can expect coming to a Mustangs game. What kind of football are they going to see? What kind of entertainment value you guys can offer, and where can they get tickets?
Our games are at Rocky Stone. I think Rocky Stone is probably one of the best football facilities in the Maritimes. Great stands there. We've got great facilities. The GMFA has their goalpost lounge there, where guys, people can enjoy some refreshments and watch it from the deck, from the end zone. We continue to put more work into the game day experience, and so I think the fans will enjoy the experience on the field. Like I talked about, we've got some fantastic athletes and current, AUS stars who are continuing to they're coming home for the summer and refining themselves as football players and athletes. So on the field, you're going to see fantastic caliber of football.
Great.
For tickets, you can buy the tickets at the gate. A game pass is $5 at the gate, or you can purchase season pass, which is $12.50. That includes all 3 regular season games on May 10th, May 8th, and June 8th. You can check out the rest of our schedule on our website at monctonmustangs.com.
Awesome. Well, Jason, listen, thanks for calling in tonight. I wish you guys nothing but great success in 2019, and I look forward to seeing you on the sidelines on May 10th for that home opener.
Ray, you've been a fantastic supporter. We love having you there, and we just always appreciate you reaching out and doing all that you can to promote our brand. We really appreciate it.
No problem. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Ray.
Awesome. The Mustangs, again, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys really got us into covering the MFL last year, and it was great for the league, great for us. We really enjoyed ourselves. Before I duck out of here, I just want to mention, also on Sunday, our New Brunswick provincial teams are going to be playing at the Mount A Stadium, and the under-16 kids play at 2 o'clock, and the under-18 kids play at 5 o'clock in Sackville down at Mount A. So if you want to see some good provincial football, get down there and see them. I will be looking forward to hearing from the players and coaches and talk about how those games went as well. So there you go. Football's back. We can't be more excited. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page as well as our website at firstdownsportspodcast.com. That's firstdownsportspodcast.com. Thanks again for tuning in to FDS Local Sports.